Oh shit. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite some time, but I'm here now and that's all that matters. There's this YouTuber, her name is Quicken, and she has a series called The X-Files in which she just talks about her failed dating experiences. I'm not creative, so I am just straight up going to hijack her idea. I highly recommend you go watch her channel. She is one of my favorites on YouTube. Support your local YouTubers. She's not local, but support her anyway. I'll leave her link in the description. The X-Files. Episode 1. Let's just go right into it, shall we? This is something that happened less than a month ago. So, in Buffalo, New York, every Christmas, this band called Every Time I Die, they have a yearly Christmas show in their hometown, which is in Buffalo. We had never been before. I actually had never even been to New York. As soon as Jess brought up going, I was like, hell yeah, I'm down to go. The event was like an all-day event. There were a ton of bands. There was ice skating. There was a mechanical reindeer. There was wrestling. Like, it was an all-day thing at this venue. And at one point, we realized that the bands are way ahead of schedule. We're just hanging out and we hear Knocked Loose go on and we're like, that's not right. They're not supposed to go on until another hour. But regardless, me and Brett just dart downstairs of the venue to go into the crowd because we want to see Knocked Loose. So after their set ended, I needed to meet back up with my brother. I knew he was down in the crowd, so I stop in my tracks and I turn and look to my left. As soon as I turn, I just see the most attractive man? It's weird to call people men. Guy. I just looked at him for like not even a whole second and it just registered in my mind that he is very attractive. He was wearing a hockey jersey. I don't even know what hockey team it was. I'm not big into sports. He was really dark complected and he had kind of like scruff, a little facial beard type thing. That is just 100% my type. Like, I love guys in hockey jerseys. I don't know what it is, but I fucking love it. And tall, dark, and handsome is my thing. Like, as soon as I turn, we make eye contact. He says hi. I say hi back. And I continue kind of just like looking around past this guy for my brother. And I like look to my right, like looking for him. Can't find him. I go to make my way out of the crowd, which is actually past that guy that just said hi to me. So I go to move past him and he says bye. I say bye back and I go to leave out of the crowd. Before I even make it out of the crowd, I just stop in my tracks and I turn around and I look at this guy and I just have this overwhelming urge to talk to him. He's looking towards the stage, his back is to me, and I just kind of carry on. Go back upstairs, try to meet up with Jess. Even when I met up with Jess and Brett again, I even mentioned seeing this guy in the crowd, and I was like, this is a really attractive guy. He said hi to me. I don't really know what this means, but I'm in love. So maybe 20 or 30 minutes later, we're still upstairs of the venue. I see that same guy from the Knocked Loose crowd walk up the steps and make his way in my general vicinity. Me, Brett, and Jess are just standing up like in a little circle, and I'm just like, guys, that's him. That's the guy. He's probably like 10 or 15 feet away from me. We made eye contact a considerable amount of time for it to be a little bit uncomfortable. I just see him sit down against like this pillar, and he pulls his phone out, and I was just like, guys, that's the guy. That's the guy from the crowd. They're just like, okay. They don't really care. They're kind of in their own world, focusing on their own agendas and what they want to do. They want to go sit down somewhere. They find some chairs and they're like, we're going to go sit down over here. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go talk to this guy, which is not me. Never have I ever done this before. I have never had the courage or the confidence to go and talk to an attractive guy that I see at a show, especially. I don't know, I just had this urge to talk to him. I felt like I needed to talk to him. I go over and I kneel down next to him and I'm just like, hey, so are you here alone? He just explains to me that he's not alone. He's actually with a group of like 5 or 6 other guys, but he got separated from his friends. He tells me that he actually came upstairs because he was low-key looking for me, and he complimented my makeup skills, which is kind of weird when a guy does that, but it's fine. I tell him what I'm doing there, where I'm from. I ask what his name is, what he's doing there, where he's from, and immediately I know that this will be an issue because he lives in Canada. I live in the Midwest. It took me about 7 hours to get to New York, and he is probably like an hour away in Toronto from Buffalo. We immediately hit it off. He's like, I will tell you everything you want to know about me, but I really need a cigarette. And he's like, will you please go outside with me while I smoke, if I promise to take care of you and if I promise to give you something warm to wear? And I was just like swooning because how cute is that? We go outside. As promised, he gave me his hockey jersey. Within 10 minutes of knowing each other, we're holding hands. We actually run into this guy that I met earlier. It's this drunk guy from Texas who has a Polaroid, and he actually took a Polaroid of me, Brett, and Jess earlier that night, but he didn't remember me at all. Like, he was pretty drunk. He takes a Polaroid of me and this guy I just met. I'll call him Nick. Nick takes the photo and puts it in his phone case where he has more Polaroids. This Texas guy with a Polaroid is asking us how we met, when we started dating. Nick is just like, oh, we actually met on MySpace. And I just played along, and I'm like, yeah, he's my number one. And then he's like, yeah, she's my number one. And the Texas guy is just like, yeah, I met my girlfriend on the internet too. And he's just totally like not realizing that we're joking, not realizing that we literally just met like 10 minutes ago. That moment was super cute and special, and I was just ecstatic with how well everything was going. We had a couple more hours until the opening band played, which is Every Time I Die. Me and Nick went back inside and we just hang out and literally talk forever about everything, about our lives, our ambitions. We even had an existential crisis talk. It was pretty great. While we're hanging out at the venue, he just looks at me and he's like, I really want to kiss you. And I was just like, okay. And so we kissed. We met up with his friends, and his friends were like doing shots and stuff and drinking. And I'm just kind of like standing by like, man, I don't want to get fucked up before I see one of my favorite bands. I kind of feel a little bit awkward, but he totally assured me that it was fine. He's like, just hang out with them. Be around them, they'll warm up to you, we'll all get along, it's great. And his friends are really friendly. Like, they're really friendly for the most part. They're talking to me. I just feel kind of out of place because I don't really know anybody. It's hard to join in a conversation when they all know each other and they're all talking, and I'm just kind of sitting there like, this is awkward. I don't know you guys. So eventually, the opening band is about to go on. Nick and his friends want to stay in the back for some reason. I obviously want to go in the crowd. He asked me if I can hang out with him later that night or if I can go back where he's staying. He tells me that he is staying at an Airbnb. I'm like, yeah, we can probably make that work because I was leaving to go back home the next day. He was leaving to go back home the next day. This was literally the last time I was probably ever going to see this guy. I give him my number and I give him my Snapchat in case for some reason my number doesn't work, since he has a Canadian number and I have an American number. The show was great. After it ended, Nick told me I could meet up with him. He told me where he was going to be, but I was not even going to try that. There's too many people. I was too focused on finding Brett and Jess and getting our stuff, because we had our stuff in our lockers outside. So I was really, really eager to go to my locker and get my phone out of it because I wanted to text him. He was actually blowing me up and he's like, Liz, like, what's going on? Are we still hanging out? We eventually go back to the hotel. I call dibs on taking a shower first because your girl got shit to do. I get clean and ready and I call an Uber to take me to this guy's Airbnb. So it's me and fucking 6 guys in an Airbnb, and it's just crazy. They're all drinking beer and eating pizza and being really loud and obnoxious. We go upstairs to like one of the spare bedrooms and we just hang out. Some stuff goes down. We did not sleep together, but you know. The next day, called an Uber to come get me, and he paid for the Uber back, which I thought was really nice. He had given me his last name, and I just didn't think to creep on Facebook because I was so rushed to get over to his Airbnb to hang out with him that I didn't creep him on Facebook yet. So after we leave the hotel, we had decided to go back to Canada and sightsee a little bit more. During this car ride, I finally decided to look him up on Facebook, and I find this tagged photo of him with a girl. And the caption was something along the lines of "Happy 4 years." The date was from mid-October, and this is mid-December now. They probably broke up, right? That's 2 months. They probably broke up. Who would invite a girl back to his place if he was dating someone? Maybe they just broke up. So I creep further, and I find the girl who tagged him in the photo. I look at her Facebook. Her name is Amber. Her profile picture is of them together. So then I'm really like, okay, maybe they are still together, because if they are broken up, why would she have her profile picture of them together? In his like about section, it says he's in a relationship, but it doesn't say with anyone. It just says in a relationship. Before we even head back home, I have it in my mind that he might still have a girlfriend. Of course, I confront him about this. He's just like, we broke up. She's not taking it too well. She was way too dependent on the relationship, and I broke it off. And he's like, why are you creeping her? For one, it's not creeping if it's public information. It's literally right there on his profile. I was skeptical, but I was like, okay, that makes sense. If she's having a hard time, 4 years is a long time. I kind of brush it off. I give it the benefit of the doubt. We're still talking daily. We're video chatting. He tells me he wants to see me again. I tell him I want to see him again. I'm all about trying to make this work. It was just crazy to me, like how into each other we were and how serious it was just in that short amount of time. He finds me on Instagram and follows me. So of course, I do my creeping. I see that his last picture with her was mid-November. Like I said, it was about mid-December around this time. Man, a month ago, I'm kind of skeptical. Then again, they could still be broken up. They could have broken up like the next day. I just kind of brushed it off, and we continued talking. He was getting oddly sexual. He wanted me to do like sexual things over Skype, send him sexual pictures. I'm really not about that at all. I told him that, and then he just kept like pressing me and just on different occasions just like really wanting stuff like that. And I was just like, what is your deal? He kind of came clean to me and told me that he has like a lust problem and he's like a really sexual person. After I asked him to stop, he kind of did. And, he just told me that he has a problem and whatnot. We're talking daily. We're talking all day, every day. So I really don't think that there's much room for a girlfriend. There's never gaps in time where we're not talking. So I kind of thought maybe he doesn't have a girlfriend, because if he had a girlfriend, wouldn't he stop talking to me to hang out with her? He wouldn't be talking to me in front of her, right? Things are getting really serious. At one point, he even told me that he thinks he loves me. And I thought that was insane. I still had this gut feeling, and I asked him again. He eventually came clean. He told me pretty much everything, that he has a girlfriend, that he's cheated on every girl he's ever dated, and that he has really bad lust issues. So he tells me that he's trying to break up with her, and every time she'll be really upset, and it kind of convinces him to stay. He tells me that he doesn't love her anymore. She knows that he doesn't love her anymore. And he just feels kind of stuck, which I have been in that situation before, and I totally understand it. In my naive little brain, I'm like, okay, so he'll maybe break up with her, and we'll maybe see each other again, and we'll maybe make this work. Because that's just how serious it was. After he told me that, I'm just kind of like, you need to tell her. I think he feared that I would tell her And I think that's the only reason why he did. He went over to her house on Christmas Day and told her about me and him. I don't know what exactly he told her, but all I know is that he told her about me and him. And I had followed her 2 days prior on Instagram because I was gonna DM her and tell her about this. Part of me was like, I am just a random girl from the internet. She doesn't know me. I don't know how she'll react. Is it even my place to tell her? Should I even, like, do I even bother? Do I just stay out of it? I was really conflicted about what to do. The next day, I messaged her on Instagram, just being like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know. He never mentioned he had a girlfriend. But I want to give you the opportunity to ask me whatever you want to ask, and I'll be 100% honest with you because I don't know if he was honest with you. She was really appreciative. She was really nice about the whole thing. And she told me that she doesn't have very many people in her life. And so I guess she just kind of is accepting the love she thinks she deserves or is scared to lose. I really wanted to reiterate the fact that it wasn't just like I went back to his Airbnb and that was it. It was like we had been talking daily. Things were serious. We both had a lot of feelings for each other. So I wanted to let her know about that. And I told her that he told me that he thinks he loves me. She kind of got nasty and she said something like, be better for women next time. You knew that there was proof that we were together. You should have just told me. And then I kind of stopped sympathizing with her. He was telling me that they weren't together. It wasn't certain that they were together. I don't know how was she being good for women by sticking with a shitty man who is treating her terribly and cheating on her. So please tell me what I could have done differently other than tell you 2 days before when I was Illuminati confirmed that they were together. I just told her, I'm not the bad guy here. You're not doing much for women either by staying with a guy who's treating you like shit and cheating on you. So just good luck. He messaged me. So she must have told him immediately because he immediately messaged me like,
oh, I love you? That's weird. I think I would remember loving someone.
And of course I sent him the screenshots. Yeah, and then she blocked me. And then he blocked me. Then I was like, it's not my problem anymore. I just kind of thought that since he told me he had cheated on every girl he's ever dated, that she knew and that she had an idea of it. But apparently she didn't. I was really upset about the entire situation. So I can't even imagine how upset she was. That's my experience with the boy at the rock show. Canadian boys are just a little bit nicer than American boys, but it all boils down to they're the same shitty people and they pull the same shitty shit. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that people are watching my content and that they like it. Let me know if something like this has ever happened to you. Thank you for watching and let me know if this is a series I should continue. I gotta go to work now. Bye.